Hello, it is Megan.
Hello, this is YASU.
And we are filming a video today about foreigners dating with Japanese. So if you haven't subscribed to our channels yet, please do so. We'll put the links to each other's social media down in the description.
Please check our channels. Topics we will cover are
Cultural differences,
communication,
first dates,
long-term relationships,
and a little bit about sex, so please like this video. So first, a disclaimer. I can only speak from my point of view. These are my opinions, and I can only truthfully represent a white Caucasian person who is an American. However, I'm going to speak really generally about Westerners in general, so any race that has a Western culture. And I'm also going to talk about not only personal experiences, but my observations, what my friends have told me, or what I've seen from my friends from other interracial relationships. I went to school for nursing and psychology, so I'm going to talk about things in kind of a medical or scientific sense. Also, I've only been in friendships and relationships the past 6 years with mostly East Asian culture, specifically Korean, Mongolian, Japanese, and Chinese. Some of this advice is going to be very specific to Japanese culture and people, but some of it is going to be more general about Asian culture in general. So take it or leave it. I'm sure some of you will strongly disagree with what I'm saying. If you disagree, or if you agree, please put your opinion down in the comments. We will read every comment.
Yeah. これは、彼女の意見なので、ぜひコメントをしてください。
So as a white woman, I'm only going to really focus on the Asian male, white female, or white male, Asian female relationship. So AFWM is Asian female, white male, or AMWF is Asian male, white female, interracial dating.
Do you think it is popular for foreigners dating with Japanese people?
Oh, yeah, I think it's growing in popularity, mostly because of K-pop. So I think because K-pop has gotten so globally appreciated, Westerners or foreigners are going to generalize. So even though Japanese people are not Korean, they're going to generalize and want to date Asian people. So I think Westerners are more open to dating Asian people. But because it is trendy and popular, unfortunately, some people only want what's popular. So if for some big music group happens to come from Russia, those people will want to date Russians. So maybe they only care about dating Asians because of what's popular. So you have to be careful.
Oh, I see. What is some advice for communicating well?
Well, communication styles are very different between East and West, I think. If you want to communicate well with a Western person, I suggest to try to be more open and honest about feelings or opinions. If you don't feel okay, don't say you're okay. You should talk about it and express what's wrong, because that's how you communicate in a Western relationship. You talk about how you feel to problem solve. Western people like to communicate more about the status of the relationship. So during a first date, some phrases you can ask are we just friends? Are we friends with benefits? Do you want to date me seriously?
How do you answer these questions?
Well, if you want to answer these questions carefully, so that you don't make them upset or so you don't lie, it's best to, for example, are we just friends? If you're not sure if you want to date seriously, like boyfriend, girlfriend, you can say, we're not just friends, but I need to get to know you better. Or if they ask about benefits, which really just means sex, you can say, I don't want benefits unless we're in a serious relationship. Or if you're okay with benefits, you can say, I like benefits. Or you can say, let's see how it goes. We need to get to know each other. So these are careful answers.
What if you just want to be friends?
Well, if you don't want to date, like no benefits, no girlfriend, boyfriend, you can just tell them that you like them as a person, but you're better off as friends. And then say, is it okay if we hang out as friends?
How do you become a boyfriend or a girlfriend?
Right. So after dating together, maybe 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, everyone has a different pace. You can ask questions like, are we exclusive? Are we together? Are you my boyfriend? Are you my girlfriend? Will you be my boyfriend? Will you be my girlfriend? Usually, girls will ask these questions first because they want to make sure that there is a stability in the relationship. But men or women can ask these questions. However, when it comes to asking for marriage, it is still more normal for the man to ask. In a Western relationship, they might plan a surprise proposal, or they might plan with the girl together. So you just talk about it and go pick out the ring together.
What if you are dating a long time and if you want to stop?
Oh, so that's called breaking up. So if you want to break up with a person, if you don't hate them, it's better to do it in person or over a phone call. Breaking up over a text message is considered really rude and hateful. You can say, I don't want to see you anymore, or I'm sorry, I want to stop seeing you because we are two different people, or we want different things in life.
How is sex communication different?
I think that Western people like to talk more openly about sex, even with friends. It's not a taboo topic. So I think Western people like to talk about sex early in the relationship, and they just want to learn your preferences. That doesn't mean that they want to have sex. They just want to talk about it. So it doesn't mean, yes, let's do it. It means let's talk about it and understand each other.
What is some first date advice?
The first date, you want to make a good impression. So if you're meeting someone from a dating app, it's not good to tell them, I just want to speak English with you, because it sounds like you're only using them for English. You should say, I want to meet you for other reasons. So first, I always recommend that you meet in a public place, because you'll sound like a bad guy if you want to meet in private. And it's just safer for women to always meet in public. Driving in someone's car is considered private.
Yeah.
It's like, and because American women deal with a lot more danger, like murders and being abducted and unfortunately rape, we're a lot more scared about meeting in private. Second, eating. So the main difference between eating styles is the slurping noodles. So if you're eating ramen, and slurping is considered rude in Western culture. So you might want to explain to your significant other about slurping culture here in Asia. It's okay, but if you ever go visit her parents in her home country, do not do that. It's basically the same as if I were to wear my shoes inside your parents' house.
Oh.
It's rude like that. Third, it's a little offensive when you make a big deal about someone using chopsticks. So sometimes when I eat with Japanese people and I'm using my chopsticks, their reaction is, "Sugoi! It's so amazing!" And I feel really uncomfortable because it's like if I were to watch you eat with a fork and I was like, "Oh, amazing! Good job! Let me take a picture and show my friends." It's uncomfortable. And most Westerners if they're interested in Asian culture, learn how to use chopsticks. I've been using chopsticks since I was 8, so I'm not new at it. Also, sometimes it's a little racist. Like, I went to a Chinese restaurant before in London with some Asian friends, and the waiter came by. He gave them chopsticks and just like gave me a fork. No questions. So that was a little funny, but a little racist. Fourth is about paying the bill. So it's still considered pretty normal in Western culture for the man to pay the first bill. However, some people strongly feel 50-50, like half-half. And some women really want to pay the bill because they feel like if they don't pay, they owe you money or they owe you something. So if a white woman insists on paying her food for her food, just let her because she might feel uncomfortable. It can be awkward when some girls are used to men paying for the first date because it can make you look bad compared to the other men. So if you really like the girl and you want to make a good first impression, I would always try to pay for the first date.
How do you change from always paying to split the bill?
Well, if you want to switch to splitting the bill, I recommend you saying, I'm saving up for future investment, so I want to keep seeing you. Is it okay if we split the dates going forward? So if they really care about you, they will understand that and be willing to pay for their part of the date. My fifth recommendation is to not say that a white person looks like other white person celebrity, unless you are 99% sure they are very similar. Unfortunately, many races cannot see facial differences very clearly for another race. This is very common across all races because without exposure, you don't really see the small details. Recently, someone here in Japan said I looked like Kate Micucci. Personally, I don't see the resemblance. It would be like me telling you, you look like Jackie Chan. Do you look like Jackie Chan?
No.
Yeah. So whenever you say a white person looks like another white person, it sounds like you're saying a totally different face. So I'm going to do a test with you. So you said you owned a cat before,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So maybe you are familiar with cats.
Yes.
But I'm going to show you guys too, and you guys can do the test and see if you can tell the cat's faces apart just based on bone structure. So let me show you these 4 cats. All right, so this is cat A, cat B, cat C, cat D. That's their names. So look at cat A, remember the face. Cat B, cat C, and cat D. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Is this cat A, B, C, or D?
It's cat A.
Okay. Is this cat A, B, C, or D?
It's cat D.
Is this cat A, B, C, or D?
Cat A.
You said cat A.
Cat B.
Okay. And then A, B, C, or D?
Cat C.
Okay. They're in the same order. It's A, B, C, and D.
Oh, really? Okay.
Even though you've owned a cat before, because you're not familiar with looking at many different types of cats, you couldn't remember the bone structure quickly. So this was my own type of test about bone structure. To me, I noticed their forehead shape, their mouth shape, and eye shape and cheeks. These are some key points about different faces you can try to remember so that you can tell different ethnicities apart. Beauty standards are really different all over the world. Like, what is the normal Japanese woman's beauty standard?
Whiter. Small.
Small, like body?
Yeah, small height.
I see.
Black hair.
What else is considered beautiful?
More childish.
Childish? Okay. Anything else?
Higher voice.
Like a cute voice.
Cute voice, yes.
What about the face? Any special beauty feature?
Red cheek.
Okay. Blush?
Round face.
Round face. Okay. Cute. So, beauty standards in America are totally different. Beauty standards in every country are totally different. What happens is not only can other races not really tell faces apart clearly, they also don't understand normal beauty standards for that race. So, you might see, for example, Asian female white male relationship, or AFWM relationship. You might see a very beautiful Japanese woman with a very average or below average white man. Like maybe he's shorter or fat or losing hair. Things that are not considered very handsome by normal standards. And it goes the other way. You might see a very good-looking white man, like almost a celebrity Brad Pitt or something, with a Japanese woman who doesn't normally fit standards. Like maybe she will have very dark skin, or maybe she's heavy, maybe she's more tall, or maybe she just doesn't put on makeup like the same way. And it goes both ways for white women dating Asian men. So sometimes you'll see a very beautiful white woman with a very average or below average Asian man because she doesn't see the variety of choices. And it goes the other way, maybe a below average looking woman with a very good looking Asian man because he couldn't notice the difference. Now, this is a good thing for personality. So it would be great if people would fall in love based on personality and not looks. But usually the first step is looks, unfortunately. That's the way the world is. And then personality, of course, is important. This also might happen when the first person you talk to is the first person you date. So if you're the first person I meet in Japan who speaks English, and that is the only person I know, we might start dating just because you're the first person. So you need to be careful about why that person is dating you.
What are good questions to ask on the first date?
That's a good question. So on the first date, you might want to ask why they want to date a Japanese person, or vice versa. Why do you want to date a Caucasian or white person? Because if they reply that they love K-pop or anime, you might want to be careful, because maybe their idea of dating a different race is a fantasy and not really based on reality. Or if they say they don't care about race or culture, they just like many experiences. Also, you should be careful because that means they're very open to any type of person. So maybe they don't really care about a special thing about you, but you're just available. Usually people who want to be in a serious interracial or intercultural relationship are not normal. Like as in they're not a normal representation of their own culture. So I'm not a normal American, as I'm more quiet, more shy, and I really like feminine things like cooking and cleaning. So I don't like macho men, whereas maybe that's more American culture. So I won't represent Americans well. I think it's the other way too. I think Japanese people who are more open to dating outside of their culture may be a little different. Like maybe they have more opinions or passions or more open-minded. Is it very common to hug people when you first meet them here?
No.
No? Right. So sometimes Western people are huggers. So they love to hug people. Personally, I find it uncomfortable. So if you want to avoid the awkward situation, you can say, oh, I don't hug at first. Or sometimes they can be a little forceful and they can say, but I'm a hugger. I'm like, okay, but I'm not. And usually if you just keep showing this body language, they will stop trying to hug you.
Is it normal to ask kiss on the first date?
No. For some people, yes, but I think it's still really fast if you want to kiss someone the first day you meet them. Some people like that, but usually second or third date, it might happen. Do you know the meaning of Netflix and chill?
Yeah, it's to ask, come on my house.
Yes, for sex.
Yeah.
Yeah, so sometimes people want to just Netflix and chill or basically have a casual sexual relationship. Basically, if anyone invites you to their apartment very soon, that's usually what they want, even for Western people. Really quickly, for my public service announcement, because I was a nurse before, please be careful about sexually transmitted diseases because unfortunately, 1 out of 6 people carry an infection without any symptoms. So it's very important to get tested. In Western culture, it's very normal to ask for somebody to test before you date now because so many people have these diseases. Unfortunately, condoms don't protect against many types of diseases like herpes or HPV. So it's important to get tested and to be very open about sharing that information with your partner, just for everyone's safety. On the topic of hugging, after you're a boyfriend and girlfriend, it's very normal to hug in the morning, at nighttime, and for hellos and goodbyes. Hugging becomes really normal.
What do you say when you are falling in love?
So love has like 2 meanings in English. So love can just mean you really like something. So I love ice cream. Means I really love ice cream. I really like ice cream. However, when you say it to a person, it's like a whole other level. So it should not be said easily. It's like a very strong word. It's really scary when you say you love someone after 1 or 2 dates. It's just very scary. It's like you're psycho.
What is the English definition loving a person?
So if you love someone, there's no real definition. Nobody really agrees what love is because it's different for everyone. Personally, I like this theory. There's like 3 stages. So you can really like someone as a friend, like them as a person, but there's no romantic or no sexual feelings for them. Stage 2 is like when you're in infatuation. Infatuation is when you are more passionate, there's more chemistry, more sexual or romantic feelings, but you don't really think about your future together, or you don't want to protect them or always be together forever. You just thinking about now. Now is fun. And then stage 3 is what I consider like the real love. It's where you think of them as a friend, you think of them as romantic sexual partner, and you almost think of them as family. So they're totally irreplaceable. You cannot replace them easily. That is like when you should say you love someone.
How do you communicate when you are in love?
So when you're in that stage 2 of infatuation or getting more passionate, you can say phrases like, I really like you more and more, or I might be falling in love with you, or you can say, my feelings are getting stronger and stronger. After you get to stage 3, where you really love them, you can just easily say, I love you, or I'm in love with you. In Western relationships, it's really normal after you're in that stage 3 love to say it very often, like when you're getting off the phone, you say, okay, goodbye, I love you. or you say it when you wake up, you say it when you're going to bed, you say it throughout the day when somebody does something cute, when they do something nice, when they're sad, when you're done fighting. You say it all the time.
Do you think language barriers are a problem?
It depends on the person. So personally, I'm very patient and I don't mind using Google Translate or having a very slow conversation. Some people want to talk easily. So I don't think it's a problem if your attitude is good. Because if you have a bad attitude about it or you act like, oh, I don't want to translate this, it makes people uncomfortable. Yeah.
Do you think stereotypes about Asians having small genitals is true?
No, I don't think so. Medically speaking, they've done many statistic studies across the whole world, and people, women and men, no matter how tall or short they are, everyone is very similar in average. So there's no truth behind that stereotype.
What about stereotypes of white men smells more than Asians?
Well, I think it depends on the person a lot because people's diet or hormones or stress level, how much they sweat naturally, and also their hygiene, so how often they wash their clothes or take a bath. It really depends. However, it is true that Asian people genetically have less sweat glands than other races, usually. It's not always true. If you have less sweat glands, you're less likely to grow bacteria on your hair follicle. So that is why some people feel like Asians don't smell. However, when I'm on the trains in Tokyo, sometimes I'm like, it's really smelly. So it just depends on the person, really. And I think it's really rare for a human to naturally be neutral. Like, they don't smell like anything. That's not common.
What are your suggestions for smelling better?
Well, this is my advice mostly towards my own people. I don't know what to advise for Asian people, but I think if you want to smell better, wash your clothes often, not every other day. Taking a shower every day, even if you don't wash your hair every day, because sometimes white people, our hair is drier, so we don't wash our hair every day. Use a lot of shampoo and soap and exfoliate your skin when you take a shower. You should avoid stress because stress hormones actually make you stink a lot more. In Japan, I know that the deodorant or armpit stuff, they don't sell very strong chemicals here. Like, it's a very mild or weak deodorant. So I'm actually going to put an Amazon link for any Japanese people who feel like they sweat or smell a lot. You can import the American really strong underarm deodorant to Japan with really cheap shipping from the Amazon link below because it's just much stronger than what you can buy in Japan.
What about cultural differences?
Cultural differences, I think, can be learned. So I don't think they're in the way. As long as you're a person with an open mind, you can learn about someone else's culture and adapt. For example, many Americans do not take off their shoes when they go inside a house. My house, we took shoes off, but you just ask people, please take your shoes off. It's not a huge request. I think another big difference between cultures might be friendships. So in a Western culture, it's very normal to have male and female friends. But in Japan, I think it's more normal to only hang out with female or only hang out with male.
Yeah, right.
So maybe your boyfriend or girlfriend might get jealous or uncomfortable if you have many male friends. My suggestion is always compromising. So come to a place where you're both comfortable. It can't just be all one person wins and all the other person win. you need to compromise. So maybe the compromise is if you're dating a white woman, say, I'm okay with you having male friends, but please do not hang out with them alone. Like, be in a group or let's hang out together. So everyone needs to decide what they're willing to do to make a relationship work, whether that is compromising or ignoring what their family thinks. Personally, I think it's a lot harder to come by a loving relationship where someone loves you or you love them in return versus finding friendships. So if I'm going to pick, I would definitely try to make a love relationship work over a friendship.
What about discrimination for interracial dating?
Oh, even though it's 2020 almost, there's still a lot of discrimination in the world. So personally, I don't care what other people think. I just want to be happy. But I think when you face discrimination, it might be from jealousy or possessiveness. Like, for example, if we were in a relationship and we go to America, some of the white men might say something very rude or racist to us, only because you are not white man, but you have taken a white woman from them. Even though I would never date them and I would never talk to them, they still feel like I'm one of them. So that's one case. Another case might be if I'm dating like a very, very handsome Japanese man, and maybe the Japanese girls don't like me because I have stolen a man from their options. So it can happen both ways.
What about family discrimination?
So I think this is the talk you should have with your family before you consider dating someone outside of your race, because you should know how your parents feel, and you don't have to agree with them, but talk to your parents and ask them, are you okay with this? Many parents will support you because they just want their children to be happy. Some parents will not support you. So if they're not supportive, I think you need to make that decision. Okay, am I okay to go against my parents, even if they don't like it? Or should I listen to my parents to make everyone comfortable? That's based on your own personality. So most of this advice was mostly aimed towards Japanese people who might want to date a foreigner, or particularly a white American person, as I cannot speak on behalf of other races or cultures that well. So if anyone has any questions or disagrees with anything I said, again, I'll be interested to read it in the comments. It's an open discussion, so anyone can chime in. But thank you so much for talking to me today.
Yeah, thank you too.
And again, please subscribe and like this video. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.